Hello and welcome to Major HS Kalsi's Balmi Academy. I am Samir Singhal and today we are going to discuss the Ancient History Set 2, and in that particular set we are going to discuss some questions that are really important for our upcoming exam, and we will also see the type of things that we need to understand and we need to write down in our notebooks, so that will be helpful in our upcoming exam. So let's start with that. So basically this is the paper we are going to discuss today that we have with us, and this is the first question we have from the Ancient History Practice Set 2. So basically if we can see here, the first question is from the prehistorical age, that is the human history part. और यहाँ पर जब हम बात करते हैं तो सवाल आता है पैलियोलिथिक, मेसोलिथिक, नियोलिथिक एज से। तो यहाँ पे जो क्वेश्चन है वो पैलियोलिथिक एज से आपके बारे में कुछ बात कर रहा है। तो क्या कह रहा है? The Bhimbetka rock shelters show evidence of continuous habitation from the Paleolithic to the Mesolithic era. दूसरा कह रहा है The Hansgi Valley in Karnataka is a major site known for the manufacture of stone tools. तीसरा कह रहा है The use of fire was completely unknown to the people of the Upper Paleolithic age. Now यहाँ पे अगर हम बात करते हैं पैलियोलिथिक एज की, तो सबसे पहले आपको यह समझना होगा कि ह्यूमन हिस्ट्री में जब हम आते हैं, सो बेसिकली देयर आर थ्री टाइप्स ऑफ सिस्टम्स. द फर्स्ट वन इज द पैलियोलिथिक, आफ्टर दैट कम्स द मीसोलिथिक, एंड आफ्टर दैट कम्स द नियोलिथिक. एंड इफ आई से which particular site is related to the Neolithic age? The Neolithic age is the Indus Valley civilization. Which particular site, if I say, is related to the Paleolithic as well as the Mesolithic? So that particular is the Bhimbetka. That particular is the Bhimbetka. Now, one more thing that you need to understand here. Here is a term called lithic. What is the meaning of it? Stone. What is the meaning of it? Stone. Now you need to understand this, that this particular classification is done on the basis of the type of tools that were used in these ages. Like the Paleolithic age, the Mesolithic and the Neolithic, all were defined on the basis of the type of tools and how they were designed. Okay. So अब यहाँ पर जब हम आते हैं सबसे पहले Paleolithic age में, तो Paleolithic age में आपको पता होना चाहिए कि शुरुआत होती है 5 लाख BC से और ये जाता है 10,000 BC तक. इसमें अगर हम बात करते हैं तो इसमें टोटल 3 फेजेस होते हैं, द अर्ली पैलियोलिथिक, द मिडल पैलियोलिथिक एंड द अपर पैलियोलिथिक. लोअर पैलियोलिथिक, मिडल पैलियोलिथिक, अपर पैलियोलिथिक. प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट अर्ली पैलियोलिथिक स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम 5 लाख BCE and goes up to 40,000 BCE or BC we can say. Then the middle Paleolithic goes from 1 lakh BCE to 40,000, and then the third one goes from 40,000 to 10,000. So all this was the system of the Paleolithic age. Now let's come to the points here. So Bhimbetka rock shelters show evidence of continuous habitation from Paleolithic to the Mesolithic. There is no problem in this particular type of statement. This is a very correct statement. Here it is. Second one is saying the Hansgi Valley in Karnataka is a major site known for the manufacture of stone tools. It is also very correct. यहाँ पर भी हम अगर बात करते हैं तो हमें हंसगी वैली के अलावा भिम्बेटका में जो है पिक्चर्स देखने के लिए मिलती हैं, केव पेंटिंग्स देखने के लिए मिलती है. उसके अलावा अगर हम बात करते हैं तो हमें जो सबसे पहला ह्यूमन एविडेंस भारत में मिलता है वो भी भिम्बेटका में देखने के लिए मिलता है. इसके अलावा अगर बात करते हैं तो तीसरा पॉइंट कह रहा है द यूज ऑफ फायर वाज कंप्लीटली अननोन टू द पीपल ऑफ अपर पैलियोलिथिक. आई जस्ट टोल्ड यू दैट अपर पैलियोलिथिक वाज फ्रॉम 40,000 BCE टू 10,000 BCE. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल कि यहां पर इन लोगों को फायर का यूज पता ही नहीं था, बिकॉज फायर वाज डिस्कवर्ड ड्यूरिंग द लोअर पैलियोलिथिक एज ओनली, बट the use of it was known by the the middle Paleolithic age. So basically this is the thing. So third statement यहाँ पे आपका गलत हो जाता है. And if we go into the answer of this question, the answer is 1 and 2 only, because it is asking you the correct one only. So which one is the correct one? The first one and the second one. Let's move to the next question and let's see which question it is. Okay, next one we have some books and the related context here. So there are 4 books basically we have: the Sulva Sutras, the Ashtadhyayi, the Charak Samhita, and the Gatha Saptashati. So if we talk about all these 4 books, which particular context they are talking about? सबसे पहले आप यहाँ पे जो बुक उठा सकते हो, दैट इज द अष्टध्यायी. व्हाई? क्योंकि अष्टध्यायी इज डायरेक्टली रिलेटेड टू द संस्कृत ग्रामर. लेट मी टेल यू वन मोर पॉइंट हियर, दैट अ ऋषि that was famously known as Panini. Who was Panini? Panini was the one who wrote this book Ashtadhyayi, and Ashtadhyayi is the book that tells about the Sanskrit grammar. That basically the Sanskrit grammar was formed under this particular book, or the basic rules were formulated under this book. एक और किताब है, अगर मैं संस्कृत ग्रामर पे आता हूं तो संस्कृत ग्रामर से संबंधित और रिलेटेड एक और किताब आपकी आती है, याद रखिएगा, Mahabhashya. Which book it is? The Mahabhashya, and it was written by Patanjali. It was written by Patanjali. Okay, so Mahabhashya was written by Patanjali. Again, please remember that Mahabhashya is the book that is related to the Sanskrit grammar commentary. So basically a commentary was said by Patanjali in this particular book. Patanjali is also famous for Yoga Sutra. Please remember that. Okay, so Ashtadhyayi is related to the Sanskrit grammar. So we have B is equal to 2. So B is equal to 2, we have only one option with that is option A. अगर एलिमिनेशन से जाता है तो ऐसे कर सकते थे आप. अब आते हैं बाकी चीजों पे. चरक संहिता की अगर बात करते हैं तो आयुर्वेद एंड मेडिसिन, एंड ऑल्सो रिमेंबर दैट चरक संहिता वाज रिटन बाय द फेमस physician in India, that was Charak, and Charak was in the court of Kanishk. Do remember that. Okay, Charak was in the court of Kanishk. Dhanvantri was in the court of Chandragupta II. Remember that. Okay, and father of surgery, the father of surgery is Sushrut. Okay, Sushrut Samhita उन्होंने लिखी, the father of surgery is him. Gatha Saptashati. So this was a book that is related to the Prakrit love poetry. Prakrit is a language that was basically used during the ancient history part. प्राकृत भाषा की अगर बात करते हैं तो जो गौतम बुद्ध हैं, प्लीज रिमेंबर दिस पॉइंट वेरी वेल, जो गौतम बुद्ध हैं, गौतम बुद्ध अपने डिस्कोर्सेस यानी अपने जो सरमन्स होते थे वो प्राकृत भाषा में देते थे. उनके बाकी जो आगे किताबें आई वो पाली में आई है, दैट इज ट्रू, बट प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट उनके सरमन्स प्राकृत में होते थे. रिमेंबर दैट. And the other book is related to the geometry and the altar construction. So remember that the answer for this question is A. Let's move to the other one. So the third question is from Jainism. So what exactly they are talking about is the Syadvada. So Syadvada is a fundamental doctrine of Jainism. It states that all judgments are conditional and only partially true, emphasizing the complexity of reality. So first of all, what is Syadvada? Syadvada is what is about maybe. So there is a philosophy of maybe. Okay, so under this philosophy, basically they are talking about the conditionals and the probabilities. So it is related to the Jainism, that is a true thing. But if we talk about if the reason is correct here, so it states that all the judgments are conditional and only partially true, emphasizing the complexity of reality. It is also saying कि यहाँ पर जो रियलिटी है वो हर इंसान के लिए डिफरेंट हो सकती है. सो दैट इज द बेसिक फिलॉसफी ऑफ Syadvada. So that is related to the Jainism. If we talk about Jainism, Jainism comes from the word called Jin. It is a Jain word and it comes from the word called Jin. What is the meaning of Jin? Jin means victorious. What is the meaning of Jin? Jin means victorious. The person who got victory over his senses. Okay, so that is called victorious. If we talk about Jainism, so Jainism has total 24 Tirthankars, and out of these 24 Tirthankars, if I say, the first one was Rishabdev. So we can say that who was the founder of Jainism? Basically Rishabdev was the founder, but we don't know much about him. So what we can say is, so total out of 24 Tirthankar, we only know something about the 23rd and the 24th. 23rd was Parshavnath. 23rd was Parshavnath, and the 24th was Mahavir Swami. The 24th Tirthankar was Mahavir Swami. So these are the basically the 24 Tirthankars. We only know about the some of them, like the first one Rishabdev, and about the 23rd, that is the Parshvanath. The 24th is the Mahavir Swami. If you want to remember, you can remember one more, that is the 22nd, that is the Neminath. Okay, so these are the things. So basically, if we talk about the third question, so answer for this question is the A, that is the both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Please remember that. Okay, the next question is the fourth one, and what exactly it is saying, let's just read the question first. So he was the first ruler to issue gold coins in India on a large scale, and his coins often depicted him as a devotee of Shiva. Who was he? So first of all, if we divide this statement into two parts, so here is the first part of this statement, that is saying he was the first ruler to issue gold coins in India on large scale. Please remember, whenever they are talking about the gold coins, we have two answers here. The gold coins were first issued by the Indo-Greeks. जो सबसे पहले गोल्ड कॉइन्स को लेके आए थे वो कौन थे? इंडो-ग्रीक्स थे. इंडो-ग्रीक्स इसको लेके आए. लेकिन अगर मैं बात करूं गोल्ड कॉइन्स को बड़े स्केल पर भारत में किसने शुरू किया? सो दोज वर द कुशाण्स. वो कौन थे? कुशाण्स थे. अगर इंडो ग्रीक्स की बात करें तो इंडो ग्रीक के यहाँ पे एक राजा भी लिखे हुए हैं मिनांदर, जिनके ऊपर एक किताब भी है मिलिंद पानो. ठीक है, लेकिन यहां पे अगर हम बात करते हैं गोल्ड कॉइन्स की, तो गोल्ड कॉइन्स सबसे ज्यादा स्केल पर कुशाण्स लेके आए हैं. यहां पर मेरे पास दो नेम हैं जो कि दोनों के दोनों किससे बिलोंग करते हैं? कुषाण किंगडम से बिलोंग करते हैं. अब एक चीज आती है, कुषाण किंगडम में दो राजा जो कनिष्क और विम कडफिज हैं, इन दोनों का जिक्र है, इन दोनों का डिक्लेरेशन है. लेकिन कनिष्क जो है वो इसका आंसर नहीं होंगे. इसका आंसर क्या होगा? विम कडफिज. प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट कुशाण्स वर एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय कुजूल कडफिज. कुजूल कडफिज. And if we talk about the second king after him, so that was Vim Kadphiz, and he was the one who issued large number of gold coins in India. Why they required to issue a large number of gold coins? Because they were dealing with the Rome at that time, and that is why the currency for the international trade at that time was gold. So that is why they are issuing the large number of gold coins. One more thing that you can remember here about the Samudragupta, that Samudragupta is also known as Kaviraj. Why he was known as Kaviraj? Because he depicted himself playing veena in his coins. Okay, so that is why he was known as Kaviraj. Now let's take a look at some of the other coins as well. So if we talk about the father of modern currency in India, so that is Sher Shah Suri, because he started the system of rupiah, dam and mohar. If we talk about the taka and jital that were started in the Delhi Sultanate, so these were started by Iltutmish. Please remember one more point, that who was the Muslim king who issued silver coins with the inscription of Lakshmi, goddess Lakshmi in it? So that was Muhammad Ghori. When Muhammad Ghori came into the establishment of the empire in India, he basically introduced these coins in India. So all these were the things related to the coin systems in India. So let's move to the next one now. I hope this much knowledge is great for this question. Okay, next question we have, which of the following statement regarding the modern spy system, that is the Guda Purushas, is incorrect? So it was divided into two categories, the Samshta, that is stationary, and Sanchari, that is wandering. Arthashastra mentions the use of female spies disguised as nuns or performers. Spies were only used to monitor foreign enemies and not the internal bureaucracy. The network reported directly to the king through the Pulisani. So what we need to tell about is the incorrect one, that which of the following was the incorrect. So basically if we see here, this one is correct because it tells about that two categories were there, that is the stationary and the wandering, which means basically there was a type of a system that once some of the spies were centered into the basically documentation and other type of works, and other ones wander around the empire to gather the information. So that is the thing about it. If we talk about the third option, that spies were only used to monitor foreign enemies and not the internal bureaucracy, it is directly correct. But in case of Delhi Sultanate, it was not, because the Diwan-e-Barid that was introduced by Balban in the Delhi Sultanate, they were basically introduced for both the purposes. Okay, remember that as well. The network reported directly to the king through Pulisni. So this is also very correct. The answer basically for this question is the second one, because the Arthashastra mentions the use of female spies disguised as nuns or the performers. यहाँ पे ये statement आपका गलत हो जाएगा. Please remember that. Also remember, Arthashastra was written by Chanakya. अर्थशास्त्र किन्होंने लिखा? चाणक्य. His real name was Vishnugupta, also known as Kautilya. Another book that was written during the time of Chandragupta Maurya was Indica, and this book was written by Megasthenes, the Greek ambassador sent by Seleucus Nicator. Okay, and there is also a contradiction in these two books. Megasthenes कहते हैं कि there was no slavery in the time of Mauryas, but Chanakya defines different. And also remember that Megasthenes 7 castes के बारे में define करते हैं उस समय पर जब Mauryan Empire हुआ करता था. Okay, next one. With reference to the Kushan period, consider the following. The fourth Buddhist council was held under the कनिष्क पैट्रोनेज. ये बिल्कुल ठीक है, बिकॉज ये जो फोर्थ काउंसिल हुआ था ये कनिष्क के समय में हुआ, एंड इट वाज डन इन द 72 AD. डू रिमेंबर दैट. कनिष्क वाज आल्सो फेमस एज द पर्सन हु स्टार्टेड द सक कैलेंडर इन 78 AD. रिमेंबर दैट एज वेल. ओके. The Kushans controlled the Silk Route, which led to the immense economic prosperity. ये भी स्टेटमेंट बिल्कुल सही है, क्योंकि कनिष्क वो राजा हैं जिन्होंने सिल्क रूट पर अपना कंट्रोल बनाया. कनिष्क स्टार्टेड द विक्रम संवत एरा इन द 58 BC. ये स्टेटमेंट यहाँ पे गलत हो जाता है, क्योंकि विक्रम संवत की जो स्टार्टिंग है वो आ जाती है विक्रम आदित्य से. प्लीज रिमेंबर, ये विक्रम आदित्य चंद्रगुप्त सेकंड विक्रम आदित्य नहीं है. ये मध्य भारत में एक राजा थे विक्रम आदित्य, उन्होंने सकाज को हराया था. सो फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट ही स्टार्टेड द विक्रम संवत. अब अगर बात करते हैं फोर्थ बुद्धिस्ट काउंसिल, तो ये भी स्टेटमेंट सही है, दूसरा वाला भी सही है, लेकिन तीसरा वाला गलत हो जाता है. तो अगर मैं बात करूं सिक्स्थ क्वेश्चन की, तो इसका आंसर जो हो जाएगा दोस्तों, दैट वुड बी आपका 1 और 2, क्योंकि क्या पूछ रहा है? करेक्ट पूछ रहा है. ओके, सो दैट इज द आंसर. लेट्स मूव टू द अदर वन. ओके, दिस टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन इज रियली वेरी ग्रेट टू आंसर. यहाँ पे वो पूछ रहा है हमसे कि इनको क्रोनोलॉजी में लगाइए, लेकिन वो क्रोनोलॉजी किसकी पूछ रहा है? साउथ इंडियन एम्पायर्स की. अब साउथ इंडियन हिस्ट्री जो हो जाती है थोड़ी सी कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाती है, बिकॉज बहुत ज्यादा रेगुलर हमारे जो है बातों में, जिक्र में, या हमारे डिक्लेरेशंस में, हमारे सिलेबस में उसको कंसिडर बहुत ज्यादा नहीं किया जाता. लेकिन फिर भी हम यहाँ पर जब बात करते हैं साउथ इंडिया में, तो चोला, यहाँ पे बात हो रही है चोलास की, सतवाहंस की, पल्लवास की एंड इक्ष्वाकुस की. अब ऐसे में सबसे पहला हमें जो काम करना है वो ये है कि हम ये देखें कि हम किस किस को यहाँ पे जो है थोड़ा सा ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हैं, किसके बारे में हमें थोड़ा बहुत पता है. तो याद रखिए, जो इंपीरियल चोलाज हैं इनकी जो शुरुआत होती है वो होती है 9th century AD में. तो 9th century AD में ये आते हैं. सतवाहंस की अगर बात करें तो ये आते हैं दोस्तों आप लोगों के 1st century BC में, और ये रहते हैं 1st century AD तक. यानी अगर मैं देखूं तो मुझे ये मिलता है कि पहले 2 आएगा, फिर उसके बाद 1 आएगा. अब ऐसे में अगर मैं देखूं तो मेरे पास ये वाला ऑप्शन खत्म हो जाता है, क्योंकि इसमें 1 के बाद 2 दिया हुआ है. तो एक ऑप्शन तो मेरा खत्म हो गया, बाकी में सब में अभी भी क्या है? 2 के बाद 1 है. अब एक और बात ये है कि अगर मैं देखूं यहाँ पे, तो मुझे पता होना चाहिए कि जो चोलाज हैं, जो इंपीरियल चोलाज हैं, इंपीरियल चोलाज जब आए तो वो आए किसके बाद थे? तो वे आए थे पल्लवास के बाद. किसके बाद आए थे? पल्लवास के बाद आए थे. तो इंपीरियल चोलास अगर पल्लवास के बाद आए हैं, तो यानी मेरा दूसरा ऑप्शन क्या बनता है? 3 के बाद 1 होना चाहिए. अब 3 के बाद 1 में ये भी खत्म हो जाता है और ये भी खत्म हो जाता है, तो 2 ऑप्शन ये भी खत्म हो गए मेरे पास. 3 के बाद 1 की अगर बात करें तो अब बचता है मेरे पास A और B. नाउ द थिंग इज, अब थोड़ा सा मुझे सोचना होगा कि इक्ष्वाकुस का क्या किया जाए. तो प्लीज रिमेंबर कि अगर हम बात करते हैं सतवाहंस के बाद, तो सतवाहंस के बाद जो है 2 के बाद आना चाहिए 4, क्योंकि इक्ष्वाकुस एक छोटी सी डायनेस्टी, एक छोटा सा एम्पायर है जो कि किसके बाद आया है? सतवाहंस के बाद. तो यहां पे आपका आंसर हो जाना चाहिए 2, 4 और 3 के बाद आना चाहिए 1, तो यानी 3 और 1। तो मेरा आंसर मुझे क्या मिल जाता है, दैट इज द ए ऑप्शन इज द आंसर, प्लीज रिमेंबर दैट। एंड चोला एम्पायर इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एम्पायर। विजयालय चोला जी ने इसकी शुरुआत करी थी और ये वही इंपीरियल चोलाज हैं जिन्होंने साउथ ईस्ट एशिया तक, मालदीव्स तक अपना एम्पायर को स्टैब्लिश किया था। और इसी में राजा आते हैं, राजा राजा चोला एंड राजेंद्र चोला 1, जिन्होंने की साउथ इंडिया में काफी ज्यादा एक फ्लरिश्ड एम्पायर बनाया था, जिसकी अपनी एक प्रॉपर नेवी होती थी जो कि एक्सपेंड कर रही थी अपनी टेरिटरीज को अराउंड इंडिया एज वेल एंड द नेबरिंग कंट्रीज एज वेल। सो आंसर इज ए। Okay, the next one. Which of the following statement is correct regarding the Chalukyas of Badami? Okay, Chalukyas of Badami की बात यहाँ पर हो रही है। अगर हम बात करते हैं चालुक्यास, तो चालुक्यास हमें जो है सुनने में आता है जब हर्षवर्धन का हम बात करते हैं, हर्षवर्धन के एम्पायर की हम बात करते हैं कि हर्षवर्धन जो है वो यहाँ पे हारे थे किससे, चालुक्यास से। चालुक्यास के एक राजा थे पुलकेशिन सेकंड, उनसे हारे थे। तो चलो देखते हैं। Their style of architecture is known as the Vesara style. Pulketion II was defeated by Harshvardhan on the banks of Narmada. तो ये स्टेटमेंट तो बिल्कुल गलत हो जाता है, क्योंकि मैंने आपको अभी बताया कि आपका जो पुलकेशन II है वो हर्षवर्धन को हराते हैं, और ये हमें अयोल इंस्क्रिप्शन से हमें पता चलता है। ओके, तो ये बात आ जाती है। अच्छा, थर्ड वन क्या कह रहा है, दे वर प्राइमरली फॉलोअर्स ऑफ द महायान सेक्ट ऑफ बुद्धिज्म। फोर्थ कह रहा है द अयोल इंस्क्रिप्शन वाज कंपोज्ड बाय हरिसेन। अगर मैं यहां पे बात करूं हरिसेन की, तो हरिसेन वाज द कोर्ट पोएट ऑफ समुद्रगुप्त, और समुद्रगुप्त जो हैं, समुद्रगुप्त की अगर बात करते हैं तो वो राजा थे लगभग 335 एडी के आसपास। और इस समय पर हरिसेन का होना थोड़ा सा कठिन लगता है, क्योंकि हरिसेन उनसे बहुत पहले आ चुके हैं, और हरिसेन के बारे में मैंने जैसा बताया इन्होंने प्रयाग प्रशस्ति लिखा है, समुद्रगुप्त के समय पे रहे हैं, तो ये स्टेटमेंट भी मेरा यहाँ पे गलत हो जाता है। चालुक्यास वर बेसिकली द फॉलोअर ऑफ द हिंदू सेक्ट्स, और यहाँ पे वो महायान या बाकी सबके लिए सेक्युलर हैं, बाकी सबको टॉलरेट, बाकी सबके लिए उनकी जो पॉलिसी है पॉलिसी ऑफ टॉलरेंस जरूर है, लेकिन यहाँ पे अगर मैं बात करूं तो वो यहाँ पे बुद्धिज्म के फॉलोअर्स नहीं है। ये बात आप यहाँ पे याद रखिएगा। हाँ, अगर मैं हर्षवर्धन की बात करता तो हर्षवर्धन वाज द फॉलोअर ऑफ शैविज्म एज वेल एज ही सपोर्टेड बुद्धिज्म। तो अगर देखा जाए अब इसके हिसाब से, तो आपका आंसर क्या हो जाएगा, आपका आंसर हो जाएगा ए ऑप्शन, देयर स्टाइल ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर इज नोन एज द विसारा स्टाइल, डू रिमेंबर दैट। एंड अ होल इंस्क्रिप्शन जो है ये हमें बताता ये है कि कैसे पुलकेशन II ने डिफीट किया था हर्षवर्धन को, और ये अ होल इंस्क्रिप्शन हमें मिलता है कर्नाटका से। ठीक है, ये सब बातें याद रखिएगा। नाउ लेट्स मूव टू द नेक्स्ट वन। Okay, so we have here the two lists again. One is the ancient officials and the other one is the departments. So we have the Sanidhata, Samharta, Sita Dhyaksha and Panya Dhyaksha. On the other side we have the context, the departments. So let's see that which one is the particular correct answer for this one. So अगर हम यहाँ पे बात करते हैं दोस्तों, तो सबसे पहले आप याद रखिए कि पन्याध्यक्ष, पन्याध्यक्ष जो है ये आपका कॉमर्स से संबंधित है, सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ कॉमर्स है। तो यानी डी का क्या हो जाता है, डी का हो जाता है 4। तो डी का 4 हो जाएगा, तो बी ऑप्शन मेरे पास खत्म है और डी ऑप्शन भी मेरे पास खत्म हो जाता है। अब बात करते हैं आपकी सनिधाता की। सनिधाता, सनिधाता बेसिकली क्या होता था, तो सनिधाता होता था वो व्यक्ति जो आपके रेवेन्यू का या कहें कि ट्रेजर का ध्यान रखता था। तो अगर सनिधाता के हिसाब से देखा जाए तो चीफ कस्टोडियन ऑफ द ट्रेजरी। तो ए का क्या हो जाएगा, ए का हो जाएगा 1। अब ए का 1 है तो यहां पे भी ए का 1 है, यहां पे भी ए का 1 है, डी का 4 है। तो दोनों ऑप्शंस मुझे जो है अभी परेशान कर रहे हैं। अब आते हैं समहारता पे। समहारता पे बात करते हैं तो कलेक्टर जनरल ऑफ द रेवेन्यू। समहारता बेसिकली वाज द रेवेन्यू, ये रेवेन्यू से ही संबंधित है, और ये जो बात कर रहा है ये बात कर रहा है कलेक्शन की। तो बी का क्या हो जाएगा, बी का हो जाएगा 2। आपका आंसर हो जाएगा ए ऑप्शन। सो आंसर इज A1, B2, C3 एंड D4. Do remember that. Okay. Okay, next one. The question is again from the administrative part. So क्या कह रहा है? Assertion: the guild system, that is trainees, acted as the central bank in ancient India. They accepted deposits from the public and lent money to traders at the fixed interest rates. यहाँ पे मैं आपको कहना चाहूंगा कि ये दोनों के दोनों स्टेटमेंट्स यहाँ पे बिल्कुल ठीक हैं, इन दोनों में किसी प्रकार की कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। अगर हम बात करते हैं कि क्या ये इसको डिफाइन कर रहा है, तो बिल्कुल ये आपके गिल्ड सिस्टम को या श्रेणीज को डिफाइन कर रहा है, तो इसका आंसर क्या होगा, ए ऑप्शन हो जाएगा। अगर बात करते हैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन की, तो याद रखिए जैसे मौर्यास की बात आती है तो मौर्यास में शब्द आते हैं जैसे कि प्रदेशिका, और इसके अलावा एक वर्ड आता है रजुका। याद रखिए इन दोनों पर काफी बार क्वेश्चंस पूछे गए हैं। ये दोनों ही किस लेवल से संबंधित हैं, तो ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल से संबंधित हैं, इसको याद रखिएगा। दूसरा, अगर हम बात करते हैं ऐसे ही आपके विजयनगर एम्पायर के बारे में, सो इन विजयनगर एम्पायर देयर वाज आल्सो अ पर्टिकुलर पोस्ट दैट वाज नोन एज नायक, एंड दीज नायक्स वर आल्सो नोन एज पॉलीगर। तो ये नायक या पॉलीगर्स जो हैं, ये भी आप याद रखिएगा, ये आपके विजयनगर एम्पायर से रिलेटेड हैं, एंड दे वर द बेसिकली द ऑफिशियल्स और यू कैन से द सामंत्स of the Vijayanagar Empire. So they were also very important officials at that time. Apart from that, if we talk about in terms of the commerce and the finance, so who was the first king in Delhi Sultanate who started taking tax in the form of cash? That was Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji was the first one, and for the collection he also started a system that is kind of related to the, or you can say that is compatible to the guild system. That was the दीवाने मुश्तकराज, दीवाने मुश्तकराज. So this particular post was also defined by the Alauddin Khilji, that is kind of related to the guild system of the ancient history. Okay, next one. Who among the following was the author of the Milind Panu? Okay, this was a very important book of Buddhism. First of all, remember that to which particular sect it is related to. It is related to Buddhism, and do remember that this book is written in the form of question and answer. The questions were asked by Menander, who was also known as Milind. He was an Indo-Greek king, and the answers were said by Nagsen. The answers were said by Nagsen. So if we go into that, so answers were said by Nagsen, and also the book was written by Nagsen. In some texts he was also referred as Naga Arjun. Remember that as well. Okay. Apart from that, if we talk about Ashwaghosh, Ashwaghosh was the person who wrote Buddha Charitra. He was the person who wrote Buddha Charitra, and he wrote this book during the time of Kanishk. During the time of Kanishk. Kanishk was also known as the person who started the two school of art, that is the Gandhar school of art and the Mathura school of art. Okay, remember that. So all this is related to this particular one, and there are also some other books like Anguttara Nikaya that tells about the 16 Mahajanpads. There was also the book that is related to Buddhism, that was Jatak literature, that tells about the stories of the earlier births of Gautam Buddha. There were also 3 Pitaks that were known as the Sut Pitak, the Vinay Pitak and the Abhidham Pitak. So they were all different books, but this particular answer is Nagsen. Next one. Okay, consider the following statement about Jainism. Let's see. If we talk about Jainism, so the first Jain council was held at Patliputra. Okay, let me tell you, there were 2 councils that were held for the Jainism. Like for Buddhism there were 4, but in Jainism there were 2. One was in 300 BC. And the second one was in 512 AD. Okay, and first one was held in Patliputra, the second one was held in Vallabhi, Gujarat. That is basically the part of Gujarat of current Gujarat. Okay, so first point is correct. Jainism rejected the authority of the Vedas and the concept of the creator God. Okay, if I tell you about this one, so basically the point is that second one is also correct, because they rejected the authority of the Vedas and also the creator of God, and that is why basically do remember that Buddhism and Jainism, they were considered as the atheist religion. Okay, do remember that. The third one is saying that Digambar sect allowed women to attain liberation in the same manner as the man. It is incorrect. But if the statement was with terms of Shwetambar, then we can comply with this, but in terms of Digambar it is not. Okay, so third statement is basically the incorrect one. So Digambars जो है वो महिला के salvation की बात नहीं करते हैं, ये बात याद रखिएगा. एंड डू रिमेंबर दैट इट वाज ओनली द फर्स्ट काउंसिल ऑफ जैनिज्म जहां पर जैनिज्म 2 पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो जाता है, श्वेतांबर एंड द दिगंबर. Okay, so it was during the time of Chandragupta Maurya. So answer for this question is basically the first and second, that is the A option. Okay, which of the following statement regarding the Indus Valley script is incorrect? Okay, Indus Valley script is famously known as Bostrophodon. It is famously known as the Bostrophodon. Now, it is a pictographic in nature, and we need to tell about the incorrect one. Okay, so it is pictographic in nature. The writing followed the Bostrophodon style, writing in opposite directions in alternate lines. Like in the first line, it goes from left to right. In the second one, it goes from right to left. It has been successfully deciphered and linked to Sanskrit. The fourth one is the most of the inscriptions are found on seals made of statite. Do remember one point, that it is not deciphered so far. Even if I tell you, the current chief minister of Tamil Nadu, that is Mr. M.K. Stalin, he recently declared that if someone comes and decode this particular language of Indus Valley civilization, so they will be happy to pay some particular amount to that person. So please remember that it has not been deciphered so far, if we talk in terms of this one. So the answer for this question is the C. Okay, now another one more point I need to tell you, that it is very correct that it is in terms of pictographic in nature, and it is written as followed by the Bostrophodon. And do remember that the seals were made of statite soil, and the toys were basically made of terracotta. They were made of terracotta. Okay, remember that. Okay, I found the city of Patliputra to be 9 miles long and 1.5 miles wide, protected by a massive wooden wall with 570 towers. Who made this observation? So there are 4 options: Paiyan, Megasthenes, Xuanzang, we can also call him Wenzang, and Niccolo Conti. So अगर हम बात करते हैं पाटलिपुत्र, सबसे पहले पाटलिपुत्र जो है इसको पटना कहते हैं. It was the capital of Magad Empire. Before Patliputra, the capital of Magad Empire was Rajgraha or Rajgir, and Patliputra was appointed as the capital of Magad Empire by Udayin, the son of Ajat Shatru, and Ajat Shatru was the one who built this city called the Patliputra. Okay, so if we talk about this particular statement, so out of all of them, who was the one who came just during the time when the Patliputra was somewhere on its peak? So that person was Megasthenes. So answer for this question is the Megasthenes, and he gave this description in his book, that is the Indica. Okay, so do remember that. And Paiyan came in the court of Chandragupta II. He came in the court of Chandragupta II, and Huenzang, basically he came in the court of Harshvardhan. Do remember that. Okay, and Niccolo Conti, he basically came during the time of Vijayanagar Empire. That is why the statement cannot be related to him. Okay, next one, again the concept question related to the matching. So let's see what they are asking now. Okay, Nirvan, Samharta, Dharma and Rita. And on the other side we have basically the meaning of these words. So first word is the Nirvan. Nirvan is basically the moksha. We say in direct terms that we just come out of this loop of life, that there is a birth and death and birth and death. So when we come out of this particular loop, that is called nirvana, that is called moksha. So nirvana, if we talk about, is in terms of moksha is the particular thing that जब एक व्यक्ति को ये वैराग्य हो जाता है. वैराग्य क्या होना, कि जब उसके डिजायर्स वगैरह खत्म हो जाते हैं और वो अब बस मुक्त होने के लिए बाकी है. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ थिंग, जैसे हम गौतम बुद्ध के लिए कहते हैं महापरिनिर्वाण. ही गॉट महापरिनिर्वाण इन 483 BC. ओके, सो यहाँ पे अगर बात करते हैं हम इस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन में, तो अगर देखें तो निर्वाण किससे संबंधित आता है या किससे रिलेटेड आता है, तो एक्सटिंक्शन ऑफ द फ्लेम्स ऑफ डिजायर. तो ए का क्या हो जाता है, 1. तो यानी ये 2 स्टेटमेंट तो हो जाते, ये 2 आंसर्स तो हो जाते हैं खत्म. अब बात करते हैं धर्म की. एक और ऐसा शब्द ले लेते हैं जो थोड़ा इजी हमें लग रहा है. तो धर्म का मतलब क्या होता है, धर्म का मतलब होता है बेसिकली द मॉरल ड्यूटी. ठीक है, या कई जगहों पे धर्म को कॉस्मिक ऑर्डर के रूप में देखा जाता है, मतलब कि एक ऐसी वाणी के रूप में देखा जाता है जो कि किसी दूसरी दुनिया से या किसी ऐसे भगवान से आ रही है जो कि हम सबके पिता के रूप में काम करते हैं, ठीक है। तो यहाँ पे अगर देखें सी धर्म का, सो दैट इज रिलेटेड टू द मॉरल ड्यूटी और द कॉस्मिक ऑर्डर एज आई वाज सेइंग, सो इट इज रिलेटेड टू द थर्ड वन। सो सी का थर्ड हो जाएगा, ए का वन हो जाएगा, आपका आंसर हो जाएगा ये ए ऑप्शन। अब बाकी भी देख लेते हैं, जैसे बी कह रहा है समहर्ता, व्हाट इज समहर्ता, ये अभी हमने पीछे भी देखा था, कलेक्टर जनरल ऑफ द रेवेन्यू, एंड रीता it is related to the natural order of the universe, so that is related to the D to 4, so we can pronounce it Reet, okay, so that is the thing. So answer for this one is the A. Okay, which of the following statement about the Pallava architecture is correct? पल्लवा आर्किटेक्चर्स के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, मैंने आपको भी थोड़ी देर पहले बताया था कि बिफोर चोलास देयर वाज पल्लवास आए थे। सो करेक्ट की बात कर रहा है, कह रहा है महेंद्र वर्मन वन इंट्रोड्यूस रॉक कट आर्किटेक्चर, द रट टेम्पल्स ऑफ महाबलीपुरम वर बिल्ट बाय नरसिम्हा वर्मन फर्स्ट, द शोर टेम्पल एट महाबलीपुरम इज द स्ट्रक्चरल नॉन रॉक कट टेम्पल, और फोर्थ वन कह रहा है, डी कह रहा है ऑल ऑफ द अबव। सो अगर देखा जाए इसमें तो महेंद्र वर्मन इज द किंग ऑफ पल्लवास, एंड यस ही वाज फेमस एज द पर्सन हु इंट्रोड्यूस्ड द रॉक कट आर्किटेक्चर। वन वेरी फेमस रॉक कट आर्किटेक्चर is the Kailash temple. Do you remember this one? It has been asked so many times. Kailash temple, and it is a temple that is dedicated to Lord Shiva. And if we talk about the Kailash temple, so it was built by Krishna I, and Krishna I was related to the empire that was called as Rashtrakutas. It was related to Rashtrakutas. Okay, rock cut architecture, or we can also say the monolithic temple. The Rat temples at Mahabalipuram were built by Narasimha Varman first. This is also correct. But do remember, if they are talking about the Rat temples of Hampi, they were built by Krishna Devaraya of the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay. The shore temples at Mahabalipuram is the structural non-rock cut temple. So it is also correct. So answer for this question is the all of the above. So that is related to the temple architecture in India. Please remember that in South India majorly the type of temples that we found are the Dravidians, and in North India majorly the temples are the Nagara style temples that are found in North India. Okay, next one, Rigved contains the famous Purushukt. It is very correct. It comes under the 10th mandal. It comes under the 10th mandal of the Rigved. If we talk about the second one, it provides the first description of the four fold divisions of the society, that is the varna system. So अगर मैं बात करूं यहाँ पे सबसे पहले तो पुरुषुक्त की, तो पुरुषुक्त आपका जो आता है ये आपका कौन से मंडल में आता है, that is in the 10th mandal of Rigved. Apart from that, the 10th mandal is the new one. Okay, do remember that the first mandal and the 10th mandal were the new one and all were the old. Okay, all others were the old. And do remember that Purushukt is related to the, provides the first description of the four-fold divisions of the society, that is the Varna system. So that is also correct. So basically R is the correct reason, or we can say correct explanation of A. So if we go into this, answer for this question is the A option. Do remember that we have four Veds, the Rigved, the Yajurved, the Samved and the Atharved. The newest one is the Atharved. If they are asking you about the Trived or the Tri, then you will say the Rigved, the Samved and the Yajurved. But if they are asking you about the classification of a Veda, so Veds consist of Brahmanas, Samhitas, Aranyaks and the Upanishads. Do remember that. Okay. So answer for this one is the A. Okay, which site of the Indus Valley civilization provide evidence of lipstick and the bead making factory? Do remember, it is a very important site, and the site that is related to the lipstick and the bead making factory is the Chanhodro. And do remember that it was also the first and the only site that has no citadel. Means यहाँ पर कोई fort नहीं पाया जाता, कोई upper level, lower level platforms नहीं पाया जाता. Lothal is famous for the artificial dockyard, and the Banavali, it is famous for the fire altar. And fire altar is basically goes with the other one, that is the Kalibanga. Banavali is famous for the plowed fields. It is famous for the plowed fields, and you can find this place in Haryana. Okay, so do remember that. and the largest site is also in Haryana, that is the Rakhi Gadi. Okay. Okay, consider the following statement regarding the ancient Indian coins. क्या कह रहा है? Punch marked coins were the earliest coins in India and were mostly made of silvers. The Indo-Greeks were the first to issue the coins that could be attributed to the specific kings, and the Guptas issued a large number of copper coins in the ancient India. All these three statements are really good, and if we talk about this one, so first statement is very well correct because जो पहले कॉइन्स हुआ करते थे उसमें बहुत अच्छे पंच मार्क्स वगैरह यहाँ पे यूज किए जाते थे. डू रिमेंबर that the pure silver coins were introduced by Chandragupta II. Okay. Now the Indo-Greeks were the first to issue the coins that could be attributed to the specific kings. एक और बात मैं यहाँ पे बताना चाहूंगा, इनके अलावा अगर हम बात करते हैं, so बात आती है सतवाहन्स की भी. Satvahans were the one who issued the lead coins, and they were also attributed as the kingdom that introduced the system of inscription of the king in the coins. So that they were the one who started them and they were influenced from the Indo-Greeks as well. So यहाँ पे पहला स्टेटमेंट आपका सही हो जाता है, दूसरा सही हो जाता है. The Guptas issued the large number of copper coins. जी ये नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं. सिल्वर कॉइन्स अगर होता तो ये स्टेटमेंट ठीक होता. तो आंसर आपका यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? 1 and 2 only. Remember that. Okay, the famous iron pillar at Mehrauli, which has not rusted for 1600 years, is attributed to which king? So the answer for this question is really simple. The answer is Chandragupta II, and Chandragupta II is also known as Vikram Aditya. Do remember that. He is famously known as Vikram Aditya, the king of Gupta dynasty, and Gupta dynasty or Gupta empire is basically also known as the golden period of ancient India, and that particular term is also attributed to Chandragupta II because there were a lot of scholars in his court. So Chandragupta II was the one who started this particular pillar, that is the Mehrauli pillar. Remember that. You can find this pillar in Delhi. Okay, and it is in Qutub complex right now in the veranda of the Quwat ul Islam mosque, and it is made of rustless iron. So do remember that. Apart from that, if we talk about the Chandragupta I, so Chandragupta I was the one who started the Gupta era. He started the Gupta era from 319 AD. Okay, Skandagupta was the one who was, you can consider, the last and the most important, most strong ruler of Gupta empire, and he basically faced the attack of Hunaz. Okay, so that was related to the Skandagupta. And Harshvardhan, he became the king at the age of 16. But do remember one very important question that comes from Harshvardhan is that who wrote Harsh Charitra? And lot of people and lot of students answer Harshvardhan. No, Harsh Charitra was written by Banbhat, not Harshvardhan. Okay, so answer is B. Who among the following was the court physician of Kanishk and wrote the famous treatise on medicine? So ये तो मैंने आपको भी थोड़ी देर पहले जब हम बात कर रहे थे एक लिस्ट पे, तभी मैंने आपको बताया था कि कनिष्क के कोर्ट में एक व्यक्ति हुआ करते थे जिनका नाम था चरक, जिन्होंने लिखा था चरक संहिता. तो आपका आंसर यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? बी ऑप्शन हो जाएगा. सुश्रुत एंड धन्वंतरी बोथ वर इन द कोर्ट ऑफ चंद्रगुप्त II. डू रिमेंबर दैट. ओके, कनिष्क, he was the famous king of Kushan empire who conducted the fourth council of Buddhism. Another one is related to the ancient university and the founder of these universities. So there were basically the three very famous universities like Nalanda, Vikramshila, Takshila, and the fourth one is Vallabhi. So let me tell you about the Nalanda first. So Nalanda was started by Kumargupta. So A goes to 1, that is Kumargupta first. So we have only two answers left, that is this one, A and C. So B goes wrong and D goes wrong. Now Vikramshila was started by the Pala dynasty or Pala empire, and it was started by Dharampal. So here's the answer. B goes to 2. If B goes to 2, the answer is A. Now other ones are also Vallabhi was started by Matraks, and Takshila was started by early Achaemenid influence. Okay, so do remember that these are all the names of the particular universities that were started at that time. So Vikramshila, Nalanda, all were in Bihar. Takshila, basically it is in Peshawar, that is the current the current area of Rawalpindi. that is where the Takshila University was. Which of the following statement is incorrect regarding the Mauryan art? Okay, Mauryan art पर आ जाते हैं. So the pillars were made of single pieces of sandstone, that is the monolith, and the polish used on the pillars is still lustrous today. The Yakshi of Dibarganj belongs to the post-Mauryan Shung period, and the animals of the on the capitals, lions, bulls, elephants, are symbols of the Buddha's life. So if we talk about the pillars, basically the pillars were started by Ashok. Okay, and if we go into that, so basically we know that pillars and Ashok were both related to Buddhism somewhere. So this statement is basically the correct one. It is also the correct one. If you go and see any particular pillar like the Sarnath pillar, you will find them lustrous even today. So that is also the correct one. The pillars were made of single pieces of sandstone. This is also correct. And the answer for this question is this one, that the Yakshi of Dibarganj belongs to the post-Mauryan Shung period. No, they were belong to the Mauryan period only. Do remember that in the pillar, the most above thing is the capital figure. The capital figure. Below capital figure comes the abacus. After that comes the capital. And below that comes the shaft. Okay, do remember that. Next one. I saw people in the Middle Kingdom who do not kill any living creature nor drink intoxicating liquor. To which Chinese traveler is the observation attributed? The Faiyan, Wenzhang, Itzing, or the Wang Hian Isi? So if we talk about this one, so this statement was given by Faiyan. Why we can say this one? Because do remember that Faiyan came in the court of Chandragupta II, and Chandragupta II is related to Gupta Empire, and Gupta Empire were the follower of Vaishnavism. So we can somewhere make a trick that somehow and somewhere they were abstaining from using the intoxicating liquor. So do remember that. So the answer for this question is the Faiyan. Okay, the Rashtrakutas king Krishna I built the Kailash temple at Ellora. ये मैंने आपको अभी थोड़ी देर पहले ही बताया था, तो ये स्टेटमेंट तो बिल्कुल ठीक है. इट इज अ मोनोलिथिक टेंपल क्रेव्ड आउट ऑफ अ सिंगल रॉक कट फ्रॉम टॉप टू बॉटम. ये भी आपका बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाता है, ये वाला ऑप्शन भी बिल्कुल ठीक है. अब बात ये आती है कि क्या ये दोनों एक दूसरे से रिलेटेड हैं, तो भाई बिल्कुल ये इसी को तो समझा रहा है कि कैलाश टेंपल जो है वो कैसे बनाया गया है. तो आंसर क्या होगा इसका? ये ऑप्शन होगा. बोथ ए एंड आर ट्रू. सो डू रिमेंबर यू कैन फाइंड दिस टेंपल इन द एलोरा caves and it was built by the Krishna, one of the Rashtrakutas. Which of the following statement about the Gautami Putra Satkarni is correct? So let's see. So he was the greatest ruler of Satvahan dynasty. He claimed to have destroyed the pride of Kshatriyas, and he is mentioned in the Nashik Prashasti and all of the above. So if we go into this one, so this statement about the Satvahans is correct. Satvahans he was the greatest ruler, and that was Gautami Putra Satkarni. If we talk about the Satvahans were Satvahan dynasty was founded by Simukh. When he killed the dynasty called the Kanva dynasty, he started the particular dynasty called the Satvahan dynasty. And Gautami Putra Satkarni, he also known as the person who destroyed the pride of Kshatriyas and mentioned in the Nashik Prashasti. Answer is all of the above. Do remember that. Who among the following was the founder of the Vakataka dynasty? Okay, Vakataka dynasty was somewhere contemporary to the Gupta dynasty because Chandragupta II married his daughter to the ruler of the Vakataka dynasty. So let's see. So options are Vindhya Shakti and Pravara Sena, Rudra Sena II and Prithvi Sena. So if we talk about this particular question, so the answer for this question will be the Vindhya Shakti. And do remember that who was the Gupta king who was successful in taking over this empire? So that was Chandragupta II, because he married his daughter to the king of Vakataka, and later on when the king died of Vakataka dynasty, he took the control of the Vakataka empire. That is why Chandragupta II transferred the capital from Patliputra to Ujjain. Okay. Okay, next one. Okay, here are some particular pairs that we need to match, or we need to see if they are correctly matched or not. सो हड़प्पा इज इक्वल टू R37 सिमेट्री, कालीबंगन इज इक्वल टू फायर अल्टर्स, ये बिल्कुल करेक्ट है, ये हम सब जानते हैं, फायर अल्टर्स हमें कालीबंगन में मिले थे, और कालीबंगन जो है वो राजस्थान में मिलता है, प्री हड़प्पन सिविलाइजेशन है। एंड सुरकोतड़ा जो है यहाँ पे हमें बोन्स मिलती हैं हॉर्सेस की। तो अगर मैं इस पॉइंट पे आता हूं तो बच्चों ये वाला स्टेटमेंट भी आपका बिल्कुल ठीक हो जाता है, और हड़प्पा जो है वहां पे R37 सिमेट्री पाई जाती है, यानी यहाँ पे बड़ी मात्रा में क्या मिले थे, हमें बहुत सारे अवशेष मिले थे लोगों के, ठीक है। सो R37 सिमेट्री उसको नाम दिया गया था। सो ये तीनों के तीनों स्टेटमेंट्स यहाँ पे करेक्ट हो जाते हैं। द आंसर फॉर दिस वन इज द 1, 2 and 3. डू रिमेंबर दैट? ओके, व्हाट वाज द मेन रीजन फॉर द वैदिक आर्यंस मूविंग टुवर्ड्स द ईस्ट? वैदिक आर्यंस जो हैं वो ईस्ट की तरफ क्यों जा रहे थे? एक्सपेंशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर ड्यू टू द यूज ऑफ आयरन टू क्लियर फॉरेस्ट, constant attacks of the Persians from the west, a great floods in the Indus River system, or to research for the new trade routes to the China. So if we talk about this one, so do remember that the greatest discovery in the history of India was that in 9th century BC we discovered iron, and when iron was discovered, so basically the tools were also made of iron, the plow, the axe and all that. So they started using that, and they started using to clear the forest, to plow the fields. So by that purpose they started moving towards east, towards the Ganga. Do remember that Ganga was basically termed as Janvi in the Rig Veda. Okay, and the answer for this question is the A option. Do remember that? Okay, the last one basically. So here are the Buddhist symbol and how they are related to the Buddha's life. So first one is the lotus and bull, the horse, the bodhi tree and the wheel. So do remember when Gautam Buddha, that is the Siddhartha, was born and he came into the womb, so the symbol was defined as the bull. Another one, when he was born and came into the life, that was defined as lotus. So basically the birth is related to the bull and the lotus. So first one is correct. When he left the home in search of the Gyan, so that particular incident was known as Mahabhinishkraman, and that is related to the horse. So the second one is the basically the renunciation, that is the B2 2. So A1 B2, A1 B2, that means answer is A. Bodhi tree, it defines the time when he attained enlightenment, so that is the C, so that is the enlightenment. And the fourth one is the D, that is the wheel. Wheel is related to the first sermon, that is the Dharam Chakra Parivartan, and it was given at Sarnath. Okay, so the answer for this question is A. So that's it from this set. I hope all the questions are clear and you get to know a lot about these questions that will help you in your upcoming exams. I will meet you in the next session where we will see some more questions like this. Until then, take care, do your best, and Jai Hind.